interpretive dance.
Odd narrative twist.
Okay. You don't remember much about Book of Henry, do you?
There is an odd narrative twist in this.
Yeah, true.
Like, out of nowhere, it becomes very different movie. Find out where in the review ahead.
Is it the fact that Sarah Silverman's been a fun-loving drunk all along?
Maybe. I'm not telling.
My lips are sealed.
But welcome to a flashback episode
Flashback
of our last year's not Black
Leftover.
Friday, leftover turkey episode. Maybe a black mark on our podcast. Who knows?
Find out.
But we did the Colin Trevorrow project known as the Book of Henry.
Yes.
Something else. It really was something else.
It was something else. It was a definite trip into the mind of what could be a psychopath.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's... Well, you'll find out.
Yeah. I feel like this is one of those reviews where it just explains itself. I mean, it's a bad movie, but I think if you're into bad movies, you should probably watch this. Because it is insanity.
It is different. Let me tell you that right now. It's I was actually blown away at where they went in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, I had not a clue. And maybe that played to its benefit. Who knows?
The fact that it stuck with us a year later.
And I could pretty much remember I don't remember a lot.
Yeah.
But I remember what happened in Book of Henry.
I wake up in cold sweats thinking about Book of Henry.
So yeah, I would implore you to listen to the rest of this episode and hear what we think. And I would recommend maybe checking it out, even if you want to pause it here, and so you can have fun with us during the review.
Yeah.
Because I think I think you need to at least see it once.
We definitely comment on a lot of the things that happen in this.
Uh-huh.
Like the lighthearted alcoholism.
Yep.
And the fun-loving, terrible parenting that happens.
Uh-huh.
A lot of whimsical, terrible shit is happening in this movie.
If you've seen the trailer to this movie, it doesn't tell you anything about this movie. You will be shocked.
Yeah. If you watch the trailer to Book of Henry and say, there's definitely domestic abuse in this, then you're psychic.
Then you saw little subtle clues in there that the normal people did not see.
You know what? Watching this trailer to Book of Henry, I'm pretty sure there's going to be an assassination attempt in this. Wow. Go play the lotto.
But yeah, so anyway, I hope you enjoy this flashback episode of our last year's leftover turkey. So hopefully you enjoy it, and we will see you Thursday with a full episode with the news of the week and our review of 8th grade.
Yeah.
So we'll see you then.
Until then, enjoy this review starting right now. Leftover turkey!
Yes.
For the Colin Trevorrow directed classic, The Book of Henry.
Yes. If anyone isn't familiar, our leftover turkey episode, if you're listening this far, we take one of the worst rated and reviewed movies of the year and review it for fun.
Mm-hmm.
So June 16th, 2017.
Summer release.
The Book of Henry debuted in a limited release, I think of only 13 theaters.
Yeah.
Then a few weeks later had a wider release of maybe like 1,000 or so.
Okay.
Its budget of $10 million only domestically grossed $4.28 million. This did not have a worldwide release.
Oh my God.
It only had a domestic release from what I saw. Rotten Tomatoes has it at a 21% aggregated review of rotten. IMDb has it at a 6.5 out of 10.
Jesus.
And Voodoo... You might want to sit down. Stand up and sit down for this.
Okay. I'm going to act like I'm standing.
Great. Maintain the illusion.
Yes.
4.4 out of 5.
Jesus!
Right? Right? Unacceptable. So, there's a reason why The Book of Henry is one of the worst reviewed and rated movie of the year.
Yeah.
It's all over the place.
Yeah. Well, first of all, to go on to Colin Trevorrow, his big claim to fame was he directed Jurassic World.
Yes.
Which I think I also heard somewhere that like he was kind of brought up as like Steven Spielberg's golden boy.
Oh, really?
Like they kind of like Steven Spielberg kind of gave him like his seal of approval. Like he was like the new J.J. Abrams.
Oh, okay.
So then like he made Jurassic World, huge financial hit. Everyone's on his side. They get him to do the next Star Wars. And then he's like, well, first of all, I'm going to do this passion project.
Right.
Called The Book of Henry.
Yeah.
And after that, they were like, oh, this guy is clinically insane. We should not invest all this money into him. And I guess like while he was on the set of Star Wars, like I guess they like started filming Star Wars with him. And like I guess he was like a huge dick and was like super like had a big head about himself because he thought that he was untouchable, and yep, then he got fired and no one's ever heard of him ever since.
Oh, Colin.
Yeah.
What a bad boy. JT, would you like to do me the honors of telling me what happened in the Book of Henry?
Jesus Christ. This might just be just the whole movie in general. We center on a child named Henry, who I guess is the smartest man alive.
Yeah.
Who is basically taking care of his mom.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with her. She's just incompetent. And his little brother. And they never really said what happened to the dad, do they?
No. They bring up a joke about alimony once.
Yeah.
So, divorced for a reason?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, where her boss played by,
Bobby Moynihan.
Yeah, like Bobby Moynihan, just like on an off-the-cuff conversation, just says, hey, why are you still working here? Aren't you getting alimony?
Yeah.
Or it's like, is that an appropriate conversation to have?
To be yelling across this restaurant?
Yeah. But, yeah, so, Henry is a very smart kid who's like 11 or something, and finds out that the next door neighbor girl might be being harassed in some way by her father, played by Hank.
Yep.
From Breaking Bad. And when tragedy strikes the family, he must lead his mother to take care of said situation.
Yes.
In a very strange manner.
Very strange. Great job.
Well, thank you.
This movie is tonally a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
It starts out like in opening credits, right?
Yeah.
Very whimsical.
Mm-hmm.
With like drawings of like, it looks like Da Vinci drawings of like what could be in Henry's notebook or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Of like little inventions and notes and doodles and pictures of his mom and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And then it starts out kind of lighthearted and do. I'm Henry. I'm a real bright kid, and I'm whatever, need to stay in the regular classes so I don't.
First, doesn't Henry kind of come off as a dick sometimes?
Yeah, he does.
Like that kid where like he's younger, he's like 11 or something, and they do those like reports about like how he wants to be the Olympic gold medalist in dodgeball, and then Henry makes it a point in his report to not only talk about what he like wants his legacy to be, but also shits on that kid's report.
Well, that kid's an idiot, first off.
He is an idiot.
But I guess he also was 11.
Yeah. But I mean, you shouldn't just shit on... Like, you don't try
Shit on
and...
his dreams.
Yeah, you don't, like, try and give your... Like, I don't think I ever had a report where I tried to give myself an A by, like, saying that your report was shitty.
And in comparison, my report is that much better.
Yeah, because this fucker doesn't know that you don't get a gold medal in dodgeball.
Yeah, he is kind of a... I don't know. But everyone still treats him, like, as an adult. Which is weird. Even, like, the principal, at one point, like...
Even his mom?
Well, yeah, his mom. That's a whole conversation I want to save till later. But, like, he, like, storms into the principal's office at one point and calls her by her first name. And it's like, going on a rampage, right? And the principal is just sitting there taking it like it's just another person. When, like, you're a kid. Get the fuck out of here, kid. Don't talk to me that way. Sure, you might be a bright kid, but I'm technically your boss, okay?
Yeah.
Right now, I'm the principal. Get back in class.
I'm an authoritative figure. Guess what? You failed. You're expelled.
Yeah. You can't talk to me that way.
Yeah.
Get out of here, kid. Also, you failed. Or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You failed. So the mother...
Very a loosely based title.
Yeah.
More like old child.
Yeah, because while Henry is like balancing their checkbook and like going over stocks and all their finances at a desk, the mom is like playing like Gears of War.
Yeah. Like super playing Gears of War.
Like religiously.
Yeah.
Like she even like leaves the youngest kid in the bathtub alone.
Yeah.
While she goes downstairs and plays Gears of War.
She makes him yell state capitals to make sure he's not drowning.
Yeah.
So she can go downstairs and play Gears of War.
So here's my train of thought on this, right?
Okay. Coming from a father's perspective.
I feel that Henry is to blame for this. Because he's smart enough, he should be smart enough to know that he's enabling this behavior.
Uh-oh.
So the mom realized if she can get away with it, and she's not like the most responsible of all. She's a real person, right?
Yeah.
She works 9 to 5 at like a shitty waitressing job,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But she's leaning hard on Henry to like figure out all
Very
the hard
hard,
stuff
yeah.
because he's a genius, right?
Yeah.
So he does it and doesn't say anything ever about it.
Yeah.
And so it just steamrolls into this thing where she's now the child and Henry's like not necessarily the caretaker because the mom still makes money for the family or whatever.
Yeah.
But like Henry is like the head of the household.
Yeah. But in all honesty, Henry's making money for the household too. Like he's made a shit ton of money for that.
Like he's on the phone, like on a payphone, talking about
like after shit goes down. Like I don't know if you want to spoil it for people. Should we even care if we spoil this?
No.
Okay, so after Henry dies, she gets this letter in the mail. Which, why the fuck is Bobby Moynihan reading her mail?
That's a good point.
But she gets this letter in the mail that Bobby Moynihan gives her saying that he has gotten $670,000 from stocks.
Yeah. So
Which that's not a thing. You're not smart enough to do stocks. If you were smart to do if people were smart to do stocks, there wouldn't be stockbrokers. There'd be stalkers.
But earlier in the movie, you do hear Henry on the phone talking about trading stuff. So I figure like he's responsible for that.
Yeah, like he's playing the stock market. But you're not. There's no such thing as being smart enough to do stocks and be good at it. You're just. It's like a lottery.
Unless you're Henry.
Okay, oh my god.
I mean, Henry's a genius. Okay.
By all means, I apologize. I'm so sorry that I did not depend on the intelligence of a kid who thought the best thing to do to cheer his brother up is to fill the hallway with fake snow.
Yeah. This movie.
It's all over the place. Like well, one of my favorite messages I sent you today was this movie seems like 6 after-school specials threw up on each other.
Yeah. Okay, because this movie is like every idea that Colin Trevorrow had.
Yeah.
In one thing that don't belong together.
Yeah. There's bullying, there's dependency issues, there's alcoholism at one point.
Yeah.
There's death in the family, there's abuse.
Yeah.
Like all over the board. Like, just stick to one thing.
Yeah. And the way it starts with like its whimsical little thing and the drawings and like it's like kind of bouncy or whatever, and it's kind of like playing fun with all the characters, and then all of a sudden it gets cripplingly sad.
Yeah.
With like the tumor that's in his brain. And did I miss it? But, like, I think I missed the part where Henry died. Did it show where he died?
No, like the last scene they show of him, he's crawling towards the window saying, I want to see the sky one more time. And then just cut to his mom sitting on a windowsill crying.
All right, good. Then I didn't miss
anything. They don't show him actually die.
Because I thought, like, after a little bit, because I got up and went to the bathroom once, and I came back and I was watching it more and more and more. And I'm like, did I miss? Is he dead? Because he's not in the movie anymore. He's only talking on this tape recorder.
Yeah.
Which that tape recorder,
it's like he fucking knew the future.
Yeah.
She's having conversations with that tape recorder that's answering back. That's not how tape recorders work.
That does not happen like that.
He like downloaded his consciousness into that tape.
Into that, to that analog tape recorder.
Yeah.
So Henry realizes that the next door neighbor is a girl in his class, and she is getting abused, and you don't really know what is going on with that because that's when he busts into the principal's office, right, and says like, she's got bruises on her, whatever, nobody's doing anything, rubble.
Yeah.
And then you realize that her dad is like the chief of police.
Yeah.
And so like he's got clout over everybody because he's
not only that, but his brother is in charge of child services.
Right.
So there's no way.
Nope, not a way.
I even like said that to Molly Pop today, and she was like, "That's not a thing."
And then you later find out that I took it. I'm fairly certain this is right. That he was sexually abusing her?
I think, yeah, because there's that scene where, like, he's spying on their house, and, like, there's, like, that scene where, like, he's, like, spying on the dad, and the dad's just, like, reading the paper in, like, sitting in the chair, and then, like, goes back up to the girl in her room just, like, doing whatever, and then the door opens, and then he's like, what the hell? And then, like, goes back down, and then the dad's out of the chair. So it's like, he just, on a whim, was just like, it's like past 9 o'clock, I better go beat my daughter. Like,
sexually molested.
How do you go from, like, casually reading the paper to beating and possibly raping your daughter, like, within the span of minutes? Where it's like, oh, shit, it's getting late.
So the
like,
whimsy,
what the fuck?
So the whimsy that started this movie turns into cripplingly sad that now Henry has a inoperable brain tumor.
Yeah, and the
there's
next
child molestation happening not a door away.
Yeah, and don't worry because the whimsical music does not stop.
No, it doesn't. It keeps going.
Yeah, it keeps going. Like, this movie still acts like it's a family film, even after Henry has a brain tumor and the next door neighbor's being brutally raped by her father.
Yeah. At least molested.
Yeah.
We don't know if it's rape or molestation because they don't really say anything. But either way.
At least being beaten.
He's bruising her. He's bruising her up.
Yeah.
And then, so when Henry goes to the hospital, now knowing that he's got some brain tumor in his head, that introduces a doctor which then is around for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, doctors don't do that.
No, and even like if it is like a weird special case, it
Yeah.
seems really weird that now he's just going to be a love interest for no reason.
Yeah, and plus, look, my dad had like a triple bypass not too long ago, and
Yeah.
like I ran into the doctor that did it at the gym one day, and he like walked away from me hoping that I wouldn't say anything to him. Like that's what doctors do. They're not gonna be like, oh shit, yeah, I saved his life. I better make sure I'm constantly in his, because they'd be in like 19 people's different lives.
Right. Yeah.
Like, why would he just be like, well, yeah, your son. Yep, I want to be in your life now. Like, what the fuck is your problem, dude?
What? Yeah.
You got your own life.
So, JT, I want you to go into the solution now that Henry has for his mother to rid the problem of the molestation going on.
The common solution that usually anyone should rush to when they see, go buy a high-powered sniper rifle at a gun store and shoot him.
Right. Because there's no other possible solution.
There's no other possible solution. He even says it in his journal.
Right. The little kid points at it.
Yep.
There's got to be another way. Turns a page. There is no other way. Because even the journal that he writes is like talking to them in real time.
Yes!
All of this shit is way too convenient.
It's
so Henry proposes his plan to his mother to go bust into a gun store and to purchase this.
Not even bust in. She walks in and then... Okay, so when Henry is like devising the plan, he just happens to go into this gun store when this mobster is using this this mob boss's name to get a deal on a gun without having to have a license.
Right.
So then, of course, gives that to his mom, and then that's how his mom gets... So it's like... So he stumbles on happenstance that he learns his mobster's name that she can get away with getting guns without a license.
And fucking high-powered,
Jesus
weird
Christ,
military gun, right?
Like, I remember, like, as she's, like, shooting the rifle, she's, like, listening to the tape, and he's, like, going through all the details of it, and it's like, yeah, the bullet shatters on impact, so you won't be able to get any kind of forensics on the bullet. Jesus Christ! Like, this is, like, the beginnings of, like, a school shooting, like, type kid, where it's, like...
James Bond type gun, right?
Like, he's so into guns, trying to murder this neighbor, where it's like, I'm almost glad you're not alive anymore, because you're scary.
Right. And it's got, like, a suppressor and a freaking telescope as, like, a fucking scope.
Yeah.
Just to make sure he can hit shit way far away from his treehouse that looks like it was made in, like, an animated movie.
Yeah, it does. It looks like the fucking Tailspin house.
Like, there is no logical way that this is a real treehouse.
No.
That either Henry built or whoever built this for him.
Like, the door's a fridge door. Isn't that cute?
It's so cute. And inside is a bunch of Rube Goldberg bullshit.
No shit. Like, that one Rube Goldberg machine, that all it does is just show photos of them.
Or the other one that just squirts whipped cream between two cookies. The little brothers are a big fan of that one.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you that.
Which, it's the bullshit machine, because you still have to hold the cookie in front of it. Like, there's nothing, there's no, like, machine that, like, pushes the cookie into the whipped cream. You just have to hold the cookie there. So you're waiting for 5 minutes for this dumb bullshit machine to go through all its horse shit. Like, it'd be so much easier to be like, oh, ready whip.
Right.
Nope, you gotta wait for a bowling ball to hit a fucking thing that hits another thing that hits another thing that squirts the whipped cream on the cookie that you're holding.
That's right.
Fuck you, Henry.
This movie's full of whimsy.
Whimsical domestic abuse.
Not only that, there's an upcoming talent show coming, and the next door neighbor is a great dancer. So she's going to be
Yeah.
performing.
So great that she was able to tell the principal she's being abused through dance.
Through dance. Oh, great.
She's that good at dancing.
That the principal finally can see it
oh my
in
God,
her dance.
That
She
dance was
is
so
getting
beautiful,
molested.
I better call the cops.
Which is weird that when she calls the cops, people believe that she's being
Yeah.
molested. But when the mother calls the cops, they're like, shut up,
Yeah.
bitch. No, she's
Listen,
not.
you stupid drunk diner whore. We're not going to take your threat seriously.
At least she's not as drunk of a diner whore as Sarah Silverman.
Like rose tits, Sarah Silverman.
Who's got her tits out and about with the...
Yeah.
Just
like they
wanting
gotta
to-
show that one weird tattoo the whole time.
Right. Just... I mean, classic diner waitress, Sarah Silverman.
Of course.
I thought she was almost typecast as...
Of course.
But she is no good
That
as a
one,
person.
okay, so that one scene where they're walking around and they see Sarah Silverman passed out on a chair outside,
Right.
and then they're just like, "Oh, wow, I'm so glad we found you. I had to take over your shift today because you were passed out drunk." And then-
Which had to be a very long amount of time.
Yes!
Because they were drinking the night before.
Yeah.
She apparently maybe drove home.
Yeah,
And then passed out outside in a lawn chair.
yeah,
They went to school.
yeah.
Got
And then they're
picked up
coming
from
back.
school.
Yeah, they're coming back.
Went to her house, and she's still passed out in the chair.
Yeah. And then they're like, "Yeah, I had to take over your shift because you didn't show up because you were drunk." And then she was like, "Oh, well, then have a drink." And she does.
And she does.
Like, Naomi Watts don't give a fuck. She's
No.
just like, "Well, this looks like
I could
fun."
use a drink.
Yeah,
Sure.
of course I want to sit next to a crippling alcoholic and drink.
Even if she got home at 3 a.m., like, she had to be passed out for 13 hours in that chair. Because kids are going to be, it's 3:30, 4 o'clock by the time they get to that house?
Yeah. But it's okay because she calls Henry Hank because they have a fun relationship.
They've got quite a hate relationship.
It doesn't
for
matter
each
that
other.
she's a crippling alcoholic that's ruining her life. She's fun because she calls Henry Hank.
But you find out that they secretly love each other. Not in a weird molesty way, but she does kiss him on the mouth.
Oh my God, she does.
Yeah. It's uncomfortable. Like, it's sweet, but it comes off as a little uncomfortable. Like, you didn't go for the cheek? You kissed him on the mouth?
Oh,
Granted,
God.
he is dying, but you still kissed him on the mouth.
Also, can we also talk about how he put at least half of this plan together after he had brain surgery?
Oh, yeah, he did do that.
Yeah. Like, he was still putting this plan together after they took a tumor out of his brain.
Ugh.
Like, I'm pretty sure you're pretty much bedridden once they do anything to your brain. And they took, like, a big chunk of a massive tumor out of his brain, and he, like, was walking around and doing stuff, like getting this plan ready to murder the next door neighbor.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess he did. Well,
Yeah.
but his plan was foolproof, JT.
It was foolproof.
Because the mother, Naomi Watts, was going to take the next door neighbor girl and her youngest son to the talent show.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, the dad just didn't want to go to the talent show.
Yeah, he'd rather just sit in his chair and read his paper, you know, like his usual ritual before he beats the fuck out of his daughter.
So he said that he might pick her up. So while she takes these two kids to the talent show, she was going to book it out of there and then lure him into the woods around where the treehouse is, snipe him,
Yeah.
and then ditch the gun over the bridge.
Yeah.
And then go back to the talent show before it ends.
And then they'd be like, she was there the whole time.
Yeah, so she has an alibi for murder that she never left the talent show. While apparently his body is just going to rot in the woods.
Yeah.
And then she would have, like, the girl would have no legal guardian. But she ends up getting a legal guardian after the guy, because she ends up not assassinating this guy, right?
Yep.
She gets cold feet.
Yeah.
After seeing some pictures. I felt if she maybe saw pictures of molestation, she might have kept on with the assassination plot.
But no, yeah, she sees pictures of her kids.
Right.
After the weird Rube Goldberg that leads to a flip book of pictures of it. Like, why would you make that?
Yeah, I don't know. Like a golf ball goes around a spiral and hits like a weird another thing that shoots something up where an old boot swings and like kicks the photos open. And so she gets cold feet. And then like Hank from Breaking Bad like figures out that she's like in the treehouse. Yeah. She comes out with the sniper rifle.
Yeah, it doesn't really seem like...
And he is like, not phased at all.
It's like, hey, what are you doing out here? And she's carrying an enormous sniper rifle with like the biggest suppressor attached to the top of it. And she's like, oh, I'm just walking around.
Nothing.
Oh, no, yeah.
She makes it seem like she's the farmer from Babe.
Yeah.
When like the wife from Babe comes, what are you doing with that gun? Oh, nothing.
Pretty much.
And he takes it as like he doesn't get upset. He's a molester, at least.
Yeah. Plus, he will not let go of those goddamn leaves getting into his yard all the time. Yeah, what a prick. Dick.
Also, he's also the chief of police, right?
Yeah.
So if I was the chief of police, if I was a molester or not, I would be like, that's a fucking gun. I'm going to tackle your ass to the ground and probably bring you in as best as I can.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't do that.
Plus,
he just walks away with his hands in his pockets.
Yeah. Plus, Henry's plan is supposed to be foolproof. Like, how foolproof is it if your idea is sniping the chief of police, like, mere, like, blocks from your property.
Right.
And, like, it's still on record that she bought... Like, they can still be like, oh, this gun was bought here? Let's go ask the owner of the gun store who bought this gun. Because I'm pretty sure not a lot of people are buying high-powered sniper rifles with suppressors.
Well, the bullet disappears, and the gun is gone. It's over the bridge, JT.
But the gun owner still knows who bought the gun.
Maybe.
If you own a gun shop... and somebody comes in and buys... Like, how many high-powered sniper rifles with enormous suppressors are you selling on a day-to-day basis?
Well, if everyone's going in there and saying, fucking, don't make me talk to Carmichael or whatever his name is.
Old Dominic or whatever. Yeah, don't talk to him. Like, God,
I guess people are coming in... That thing's got a revolving door of people just taking guns.
Like, how many times do people say, like, all right, I'm going to need, like, a Dominic license. I got to make sure that you know... Like, I need a gun license or a signed permission slip from Dominic saying that you're going to take this gun.
And so, anyway, Hank just leaves that scene, not worries that he could be shot in the back.
He just calls his friend at the police station being like, hey, you're going to hear some shit about me. It's not true. You should arrest this one chick. And they're like, no, we're going to bring you in. We're going to bring you in because the principal saw your daughter do an interpretive dance that told her that you're beating the shit out of her.
And so then this whimsical movie takes the stance of having a man commit suicide.
Yeah, he shoots himself.
Meanwhile, the dance gets a standing ovation.
It does. It might have won, I think.
And then, well, who knows? Because
I don't know. That kid burping the ABCs was pretty fucking compelling.
The magic show of the youngest son.
How much were you hoping that Henry would come out of that box?
I was gonna be really hoping
I was going to flip up my fucking couch if Henry would have come out of there. It was like,
I was really thinking,
oh my god,
he was gonna pop out of that box.
Like it was a big fucking ploy by Henry.
I'm so
that he
happy
faked his own death and made his mom kill the neighbor. Like I was gonna be like, fuck yeah!
I was so hoping that was also going to happen. And it wasn't. It's just fake snow that blows over the crowd
damn it.
and everybody
so
cries.
Pissed. I was so pissed. I was so hoping that Henry would pop out at the end.
God. You know what still blows me away, though? That the mom was just on board to murder.
Yeah.
What?
She was
just like all in. Yep. I listened to that whole plan. I'm going to listen to it again while I do it in real time for whatever reason. I'm in. I'm going to murder.
Yeah. Even when like the brother, like fucking like the little brother finds the journal and runs downstairs. He's like, Mom. What? I think Henry wants you to murder Glenn. Like that's an actual conversation they have in the movie.
Yeah.
And then she was like, I better look into this. Not like, that's preposterous. Like, oh, well, maybe I should see what this is about.
Maybe Henry has some deep-seated issues.
Yeah. Maybe you shouldn't take the advice of your 11-year-old
to
who's
murder.
Yeah. Who was dead with a brain tumor who left clues for you to murder your next door neighbor. Oh my God. Well, at least you wouldn't have to worry about those leaves.
Oh, shit. Let all the fucking leaves blow in this yard.
It doesn't matter. He's dead.
Yeah, blew his head off.
Yeah.
This whimsical movie blew his head off.
I would love if that was like the first thought that entered her mind. Like, thank God, I don't have to worry about those leaves anymore. He just fucking killed himself.
Yeah. Just kick some more leaves to his yard if she goes home.
Yeah. All right, kids, don't have to worry about bags. Just rake the leaves into his yard now.
So then, after all this is said and done, obviously this girl is now home alone because the dad blew his head off and there's no mother in the picture for whatever reason.
But they forged adoption papers before he died. Or, like, will papers before he died.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because she got him to sign a fake permission slip to be in the talent show.
Right.
And then they used his signature to forge papers to his will that say that she gets custody of the daughter if the father were to die.
I missed that part. I remember her light boxing the signature, but I just didn't put that together. I was like pretty out of the movie by then, I think. Until she buys the gun, and you're like, Jesus, she's going all in on this fucking murder plot. Oh, man. Book of Henry is fucked.
Oh, my God. It is ridiculous. Like, watching this, it's like watching someone make a movie that they don't know how people work.
Yeah.
Or things in general work.
Yeah, like, what would be a better pit? Like from so the cover of the movie is like Henry in like an aviator helmet and goggles, and it's like Book of Henry. And if you take it by the intro of like the whimsical drawings and like it says notebook and there's a picture.
It looks like a family film.
I think he wanted it to be a family. It's PG-13.
Yeah.
I think it's PG-13.
Yeah, it's PG-13.
Because they don't swear in it. They don't actually show
There's
any
one
violence.
fuck. The mom says fuck once.
Does she?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you get one. But like I don't know what would make this movie better if they just went a straight route and it's this smart kid who gets a brain tumor and then the family deals with that. Would that be like a better film? Besides like,
yeah,
because then you leave the molestation out of it, the suicide out of it, and then you can still have the talent show at the end with like the kid trying to like makes everybody happy with the snow. Like it's a corny kind of like run of the paint by numbers kind of movie, but it's better than whatever this was.
I know, it's so all over the place.
Take out the murder-suicide parts.
Yeah, like, I don't know how he would rush that conclusion of being like, yeah, I should murder my neighbor.
Right. Or you start out the movie completely different, like, maybe darker, make it a rated R movie, and just go full assassination attempt. Make it crazy goofy. But this, like, is not a crazy goofy... Like, it is... But, like, it never feels like it makes any sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
That people are just jumping to these logic leaps.
Yeah.
Of like,
Nobody's like thinking logically in this at all.
not at all. God. Give me a... And then she burns the tapes and book as evidence at the end even.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, my God.
I don't know. This movie makes me want to go back and rewatch Jurassic World, because I feel like there was some weird character stuff in that too. Like, just thinking back to it. Like, watching Book of Henry, I feel like Colin Trevorrow like has like this thing where like he stereotypes characters and is like really uncomfortable and like building layers around that. Like, Henry is a smart kid. He's nothing but smart. Like, there's nothing about him that's like strays away from him being smart. The mom is dependent on Henry and is kind of aloof. She never really strays from that.
Uh-huh.
Like, the brother always feels inferior to Henry. That she never really strays from that. Like, the dad is always a dick, never strays from that. Like,
yeah,
he seems like he's very one note on all of his characters, and I feel like that was kind of what Jurassic World was kind of like too. Like those two kids, where like the one kid was obsessed with constantly getting with girls, and the other kid was just bitching about everything. Like, he never really strayed from that. Like, even in like weird scenes where it was like, you don't really need him to be like worried about what this girl thinks about him in this scene, but then he still throws it in, like he doesn't know what else to do with them.
Yeah, I mean the in Jurassic World I haven't seen it since I saw it in theaters, but from what I can remember, like they're all like character tropes.
Yeah, everyone's really one note in it,
and I don't think many people. Is there anybody that even really has like an arc that their character changes?
No. And it's kind of like in this, too. Like, the most someone changes is the mom decides to not do a thing that Henry tells her to do. That's the one...
Yeah.
That's her arc. Is like she spends the whole movie listening to Henry, and then when it gets to murder a human being, she was like, you know what, maybe not.
Yeah, but then she has to become like a real adult out of necessity because Henry's not there to do it for her.
Yeah.
It's not like she makes a conscious choice to do it.
Exactly.
She has to do it.
Yeah. So it's
because now she's adopted a normal kid and has our other real kid. Now she has to just actually be a parent.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
It's so... I don't know I don't think he knows how to write or like direct characters or like make them make sense in a story.
And I've listened to plenty of podcasts or reviews of Jurassic World saying that like anybody could have directed that movie.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really have like a stamp of something that's like just Colin Trevorrow. You know what I mean?
Like all of the character stuff kind of gets lost in the action and the dinosaurs and like trying to get away from that shit. But like thinking back to like those small character moments where like it's people talking to each other, I don't know. I want to go back and rewatch it because like thinking back to it, there were some weird interactions where I'm like, that feels kind of off, and like kind of like this entire Book of Henry movie was.
I barely remember anything about Jurassic World, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it had a lot it was very successful because of nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like essentially the Force Awakens for Jurassic Park.
Pretty much.
It took Jurassic Park, updated it, and now it can go from there. You know what I mean? But it was like just like Jurassic Park over again.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't as good. It didn't have...
But there was just some weird character stuff in it. Like how Bryce Dallas Howard had her heels on the whole time.
Yeah. Like
that was just something where I'm like, you didn't really like find a way for her to actually be smart about not having her heels on. Like when they're going through the fucking wilderness.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, there's just some weird stuff in there that like it feels like Jurassic World definitely feels like more of the studio stepped in like, all right, this is weird. Maybe you should stick more to this. But there's some things here and there where I'm like, that's a little weird. Like watching this movie where I'm like, okay, this Jurassic World feels a lot weirder than what I remember it being.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen it. I think I own it, so maybe I'll go back and rewatch it because I'm curious.
Yeah, I know. Like just watching this, I was like thinking back to Jurassic World where I'm like, oh man, like reminiscing, there were some weird character stuff in that. I don't know. But yeah, Book of Henry.
Yeah. Terrible.
What's your? We'll go to the final grades then.
Oh my god, I don't even know. It's like visually, I think this was a because
like it's
to
not,
say it's a mess. It's not like a Suicide Squad or a Batman v Superman kind of mess where it's really clippy and jumpy. There's just like leaps of logic in this that don't make any sense.
Yeah.
And tonally, it's all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
So, but other than that, like, it looks okay for, like, as a movie.
Yeah. I know, like, it feels like competently put together.
Yeah.
It's just that, like I said, like, it feels like someone that's really good at making movies does not know how people work. Like, it feels like some like rich billionaire came out of his mansion that like learned everything that it was to know about how to make films, but yet never talked to a real person in his entire life.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I would give this a D-, I think. I won't go full blown F.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think D-. I'll stick with that.
I don't know. Personally, I'm fascinated by movies like this, like bad movies like this, where it's like, I feel like when a filmmaker makes a bad movie, that's when you really get to know who they are. And like, I feel like with this, like it's like you know underneath. Exactly how fucking idiotic Colin Trevorrow is when it comes to how people interact with each other, or even how brain surgery works.
Sure.
Where it's like, I'm pretty sure if someone operates on your brain, you're not putting together a plan to assassinate someone the next day.
Yeah.
Also, this whole movie takes place in the course of a month.
Oh, does it?
Did you put that? Because they say, like, one of the first lines in the movie is that the talent show is just a month away.
No, I didn't put that together.
So, like, within a month, all the events of this movie took place.
Okay.
No! It's awful!
Yeah, oh yeah,
everything!
It's awful.
From Henry being normal, finding out the neighbors being abused, gets a brain tumor, puts all the plan together, dies, the family grieves, the mom learns how to use a sniper rifle, and then puts the plan in motion to kill the neighbor the day of the talent show. All of that takes place in a month.
Yeah, that's a bit of a time crunch when you put it that way.
But no, it's just
to be fair, there's not a lot of grieving time in this movie.
There is not.
There is, I'm going to say, no grieving time in this movie.
No. Her way of grieving is to ruin the health of her child by constantly giving him dessert.
Yeah.
Like, even the kid is like, I know I shouldn't be eating this much shit. Like, I want to eat this, and I know I shouldn't.
Yeah. What would you grade the movie?
Just because I want people to see how much of a disaster this is, I'll give it a D+. Like, if you love watching bad movies for the sake of seeing how insane the filmmaker is that made it, this is one of those classic examples.
Yeah. But this movie it rides the line for me of being like a movie that's so bad that it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
There's like weird leaps in logic that I think are funny, like in hindsight. Like, hey, that's weird that the mom would just be okay to murder. But like, then it like jumps into like weird heavy things that aren't really fun, like alleged child molestation and like brain tumors and like,
what the fuck?
It's
so all over the place.
like this isn't like even bad fun. It's just
like he wants to make like a family, like super dramatic family type film, but like everything he does is so heavy-handed. Like, I didn't give a fuck when Henry died. Like, I feel like they
I don't
tried
think anybody gave a fuck.
Yeah, they tried so hard to make me feel something when Henry got diagnosed with a brain tumor and like he was gonna die. Like, but it was so heavy-handed where I was just like, I feel like you're trying to make me feel something. to the point where I just don't care.
Yeah. But it gets into so, like, Lifetime movie moments at some points where it's like, oh, this sucks.
But I love that shit. It's so bad. Like, it's... I don't know. Like, because hearing that he was supposed to be, like, Spielberg's, like, protege, like, Spielberg had his, like, seal of approval on him, like, I almost kind of saw that in this movie where it's, like, he wanted to make one of those, like, yeah, the kids are smarter than the parents type films. Sure. But it's so heavy-handed and so, like, he tried swinging for the fences on every single aspect of Spielberg that it was, like, a gross mutant of what a Spielberg film is.
This doesn't resemble a Spielberg movie at all.
Yeah, it's like the gross aborted fetus of a Spielberg film.
God.
Because it's like, he makes the kids so smart that it's unbelievable, and he makes the parents so dumb that it's unbelievable.
But if they would have just leaned into those things and didn't have like the weird, super sad, dramatic moments, I could have taken that okay. Like, oh, it's a really smart kid, and he's kind of a dick. Okay. Oh, the mom's kind of like aloof and wants to do whatever. Okay. I'll ride with that. And if they just played with that more and didn't like get into cripplingly depressing things, it would have been okay, because I felt you could go along for the ride.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's got like Rube Goldberg machines and he's got a fun playhouse in the woods and oh, isn't this fun? And it's not ever really. Oh my God.
But yeah, no, it's still a terrible movie. I'll go with a D+.
Yeah. Like, granted, I gave The Room an F-, but with the caveat that it's a blast to watch.
The Room is way more fun to watch than this.
Completely. And The Disaster Artist, I think, drops this weekend, maybe?
Next weekend.
Yeah. Okay. I want to see if I can see that before the holidays come up and I won't be able to see.
Holiday season.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for listening. If you want to join us on social media, do so at ReviewReviewPod on Twitter. If you happen to be a Facebooker, do that ReviewReviewPod on Facebook. You can find us at our host site at reviewreviewpod.podbean.com, but you don't have to listen to just there. We are also on a multitude of platforms such as Google Podcasts, Alexa devices, Stitcher, and Apple Podcasts. If you happen to be an Apple user, rate and review us there, because if you like the show, that helps other people find the show as well. If you want to write in, do so at reviewreviewpod@gmail.com. Thanks for listening again. We'll see you next time.
And we're off.